Alrighty then, a lot of things to talk about in this video. I just got my Rayquaza. Is it Rayquaza or Rayquaza? Rayquaza Z nature change. And I got optimistic. So I'm going to be talking about that. But first, I want to talk about Gliscor. Running a toxic orb can get heals every turn, which is better than leftovers. It gives, instead of 1/16, which is the leftovers, it gives 1/8. 1/8 of HP back every turn. And that's why a lot of people run Protect. And you can kind of play mind games with Protect as well. It's also good as a toxic stall. This is what I made on my first Gliscor. Now he can't learn Roost, and he cannot learn Ice Fang or Fire Fang, or can't learn certain moves, even like Earthquake, I think, too. So you have to teach those moves before. That's why I had to make another Gligar. He evolves into Gliscor, so I can teach it Roost and some other moves. Slacking is another Pokemon that you have to teach it moves before it Mega Evolves. Starmie can't learn Surf. Weavile, when he Mega Evolves, can't learn Ice Punch. Those are the ones you have to think about the moveset before you Mega Evolve. I think plus physical defense minus special attack is probably the best nature for it, because you're probably going to be coming in. This is the number one counter to Groudon, in my opinion. I think if people say Kyogre is a counter to Groudon, it's not a counter, it's more of a check, because Kyogre can't come in safely when Groudon's spamming Earthquake. If Groudon can use any move, Fire Punch, Rock Slide, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and Gliscor can come in safely. You can use Knockoff or Toxic. You can do U-Turn, Tailwind, Stealth Rock, Roost, all sorts of different movesets. And with Swords Dance, you can set up as well. You can also run Optimistic Nature, which is plus speed, or Begodded, which is plus attack. But I think physical defense is the best, because it can sponge a dragon hit, it can sponge physical moves like Pluck and Brave Bird. Ground Flying is just a really good typing. It cannot get statused like Thunder Wave. It could get burned if you switched into like a Will-O-Wisp or something. But after Toxic Orb pops, you're not gonna have to worry about getting, sleep powdered or put to sleep or burnt. The main weaknesses are ice and water to look out for. So I think Gliscor is top tier because it counters Groudon, which is also one of the top tier, most viable, most probably used Pokemon. Mewtwo, on the other hand, is another Pokemon that's tough to counter. I don't know what, right now the best Pokemon I could think of that would counter is Ghost Arceus. I have a Rock Arceus. Even then, because Arceus has Refresh, so Toxic wouldn't do it, unless Mewtwo did Taunt first. But Mewtwo would have to have a very specific set. Ghost Arceus could hit him with Judgment, Ghost Judgment, Ghost Arceus, Arceus in general is kind of hard to get, so it's not very that practical or common to have an Arceus. I think Scizor is a decent, kind of a semi-counter to Mewtwo. If Scizor gets hit by a Shadow Ball and loses its special defense, it could, I think Scizor is probably one of the better counters. Metagross, Dialga. Dialga could get hit by R-Sphere, which is pretty common on Mewtwo's. Ho-Oh could, as a special wall, could stop Mewtwo and a little bit. Not really, because Mewtwo could have Psy Strike or Psy Shock, or it does physical damage. It could run Toxic. Mewtwo is very difficult to stop. The best way to stop Mewtwo is to put it to sleep or have a really fast Weavile, because Mewtwo's RVs are actually higher. But if you have a Speed Nature Weavile, if you sack something, you might get a Night Slash crit. There's also that Iron Mewtwo. He's going to be hard to counter. Anyways, forget what I was talking about. I went on a side tangent there. I have no idea what else I want. Anyways, for Rayquaza, I do want to show you two moves that are of interest. V-Create is very... Look at this. 180 power. 95 accuracy. The downside is that you lose a percentage... was it? One stage or... one stage of your defense, special defense, and speed. But besides that, V-Create, that's going to destroy all the steel types. You don't even need to get a Swords Dance for that to hurt. But it's only for fun events. It's probably cost $1 million. I think I've seen it, but it was way too expensive. Another good move to run on what's his face, Rayquaza, is Dragon Ascent. This is also a very expensive move, only through events. Also, I saw this guy running a special attack, Draco Meteor. That could also work. That's 140. Only downside is you lose your special attack. That's really interesting to run special dragon moves on Rayquaza, because Rayquaza can go mixed, or he has 185 special attack. You don't want to run Dragon Tail. Dragon Ascent, 120. Only downside is the catch is you lose your defense and your special defense, which isn't a big deal because you're faster. And if you're one-hit KOing, if you're killing pokes, it doesn't really matter if you're losing your defense and special defense. You're not going to be taking hits. Dragon Claw is another option if you're not running Outrage. You guys know that Outrage can get locked in. You can confuse him. Steel types can come in and revenge kill, but overall, Outrage hurts a lot of things. There's fairy types aren't implemented yet. So even if a Metagross were to take an Outrage, it's still gonna damage it a lot. Scizor could come in and resist Outrage, but Scizor isn't gonna do much back to Rayquaza. Let's see. But I'm just thinking that, look at his speed. This is still at level 7. I haven't upgraded him at all. But man, this is gonna be one of the fastest Pokemon. With splitting power, the item increases your speed by 20%. only for Rayquaza. Um, and then 10% plus the nature. So altogether, that's gonna hit around 149 or 150 RV speed. And the only things that could kind of compete with that would probably be is Aerodactyl and Speed Deoxys. And this way, with this item, you can run Swords Dance instead of Dragon Dance. And Swords Dance, as you know, increases your attack by 2 stages. So another option is Flamethrower. If you just need a fire move to take out the steals. Surf could work to hit Groudons. Waterfall is also another good option if you're running a physical set with Swords Dance, because with his speed, Waterfall flinches 30%. 30% flinch. And Waterfall that's what makes Waterfall kind of broken. That could work. But however, if Groudon comes in on a Rayquaza, then you're better off with Earthquake. But, if you're dealing with a Gliscor, again, you might have Ice Fang, you might want to run Waterfall. My Mewtwo, I rewrote Nature, and he's a plus special defense. And that's probably the third best Nature. The best ones would be, obviously, plus speed minus physical attack, or plus special attack minus physical attack. But I got plus special defense, which isn't bad, because if you look at his special defense, it's 120, so he's gonna kind of be, in a sense, my special wall on my team. I'm not running 2 Gliscors. I'm gonna reset my Mega Gliscor here. I thought of my Gligar's moveset like for a week. It's gonna be Roost, Protect, Ice Fang, and Earthquake. There's so many different ways you could go about it. You could use Knockoff, Toxic, so many different, Swords Dance. There's just so many different movesets and variations of how you can do it. Toxic's good, but the reason why I'm not going to run Toxic on that is because I want to run, well, I was thinking at least of running, where is he? Forretress. Bug Steel is only weak to fire. I don't think it's weak to ground. Let me check. I don't think he's weak to ground. Yeah, ground is neutral. So he's only 4 times weak to fire. The thing that shuts down Forretress is a lot of leads have run Taunt. But what makes Forretress very viable, even though he doesn't have a Mega, this is just shiny, is because he can run Toxic Spikes. He's got 160 defense. They're going to have a Mega Skarmory eventually. He's also going to have, I think, 160 defense. It's pretty darn high. So you can run Counter, you can run Curse, Rest, Bug Bite, which is good because of Stab and takes away the berry. Explosion, if you just want to sack him as a suicide lead. Rapid Spin is a must, I think, because of Stealth Rock Setters. My Groudon, that's another issue I'll talk about later. But Rapid Spin, Spikes, Toxic Spikes. He could run Stealth Rock. Then he can run another. The thing is, if he gets taunted, he's screwed. But if you put a layer of toxic spikes, you're gonna get rid of berries, which gives perfect setup for Darkrai. Because when they don't have berries, you can either stall them out, or if they're poisoned, or you can use Dark Void, which is 80% plus the wide lens is 90%, making Darkrai broken because he's at 135 speed. And I got Timid Nature, so he can technically outspeed Mewtwo's that are not speed nature. So I'm trying to fit Rayquaza onto my team. Here's his RVs. His super moves, I'm kind of blanking on his super moves. He might have a flying and a dragon super move. Um, Super moves have changed the game. It's kind of like a fifth move. Sub-Zero Slammer. Can run a fire move and a ground super move. I'm thinking I'm either going to run this as my team, or I do need to change my Groudon's nature. If I were to take off, because I don't have Toxic Spikes yet. The Toxic Spikes cost a lot of money, but my prediction is that they will come out with it in the events. It'll probably be like $500. I know, I know, I know. But Toxic Spikes is so good because a lot of people don't run a poison type, which would absorb Toxic Spikes. Any poison type, which is probably Gengar or Venusaur. And not a lot of people run Forretress Rapid Spin or Defog. The reason why running a second Groudon would be smart is because it stops Kyogres. You can just switch back and forth, wrecking Kyogres. I have 2 Groudon Scales, which increases your defense and special defense by 30%. 30%. That's... I mean, Sodu is probably a better item for Latios and Latios, but Groudon is so tough to deal with. And so this could be my setup Groudon, who's putting up Stealth Rock. Toxic primarily to get rid of berries. Toxic deals with whole other Kyogres and whatever. Switching in. I was thinking of putting Dragon Tail if I had Dragon Tail instead of Roar. It's really good just to kick things out from setting up. Anyway, oh, T-Wave is also good on Groudon. I think I covered everything. So what do you think my team should be? Should I take out one of the Groudons and put Forretress with Toxic Spikes? I think I'm leaning towards that. I wouldn't have a Stealth Rock. Latias can Healing Wish. It can Aromatherapy. It can be a Calm Mind set. It can recover. There's all sorts of different things. Aromatherapy is useful to heal your Pokemon from any status. Healing Wish can like bring back something that took a lot of damage, and that can change the game. So I do like Latias, although its Dragon Psychic type is just horrible because there's so many Weaviles. Weaviles always come in and think they can just kill him with Night Slash. Weavile is so broken. For free-to-play players, Weavile is the best non-legendary Mega, I think. Slowbros are good. Scissors are good. Gliscor, again, is very good. It feels weird not running Arceus. He's got 140 RVs and everything, except his HP is 120. So, yeah. I still don't have a Dialga, but I'm not going to run him anyway. I still am working on a Palkia, just for the collection's sake. Aerodactyl is also another good Pokemon with Unnerve, because You know, whether you like it or not, Toxic is just, that's part of it right now, and Unnerve Toxic is very OP. So the way to counter it is to run things like Scizor, Metagross, Gliscor, Aromatherapy, Rest, Taunt. There's ways around it. I think that's all I'm gonna share for this video right now. Tell me what if you think how I should change my team or what. So yeah, leave some comments, like and subscribe, and yeah, thanks for watching.